Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And today, what I have for everyone, I just wanted to make this real quick video talking about why everyone needs at least 3 smartphones. Okay, before y'all start going crazy and talk about no we don't. I only need 1. I only need 2 at most. Let me explain, and then we can talk about it down below in the comments. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, the prime reason why you would need 3 smartphones is, 1, you're going to use as your daily driver, okay? This is the phone that you use and do everything. This can also be considered your personal phone. 2 is what you would consider your backup phone. So if your personal phone dies and you don't have time to recharge it, you got your backup phone on deck. Or this could also be considered your business phone. So you have 1 personal phone, you got 1 business phone. And the 3rd phone is what I would call your emergency phone. So this phone is pretty much placed anywhere where you can get to it in case of an emergency. So if there's any type of accident, anything you would consider an emergency to happen, this emergency phone has all your emergency information in it. So your health information, your emergency contacts, your car insurance, so on and so forth, okay? And for me, at least primarily, I keep my emergency phone in the glove box of whatever car that I plan to be driving for an extended period of time. Okay? So now that y'all know what you would need 3 phones for, let's get into some recommendations as what I would consider you use for any one of these things. So your primary phone, your secondary phone or business phone, and your emergency phone. So let's get into these recommendations. So as far as primary phones go, now I'm gonna have 2 recommendations for each because I've experienced Android and I've also experienced iOS. So I do believe that you need to experience both sides of the coin before you can, decide which one you like more. So for each recommendation, I'm gonna have 2 options. 1 Android option and 1 iOS option, okay? Here we go. Now, for your main daily driver or your personal phone, I would recommend for Android, the Google Pixel 3a XL. Now, my whole reason behind that is for your personal phone, some of the key things you need to consider is battery life, cameras, and overall software and customization. And the Pixel lineup of Android devices definitely brings that battery life, in particular with the 3A and the 3A XL. They come with some really nice cameras, they have a really nice display, and it's stock Android, so you can configure it exactly how you would like and customize it to your heart's content. Another big thing is that if you go with the Pixel series or lineup of devices, you're guaranteed software updates for at least 2 to 3 years. You're guaranteed at least 2 major OS updates and 3 years of continuous security patches. So that's why I would recommend the Google Pixel 3a XL or Google Pixel 3a as your main daily driver stock Android device. Now, on the other side of the token, if you're rocking iOS, what can I recommend you pick up? Well, for iOS, if you need a main daily driver or a personal device, I would recommend you go with the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, okay? In particular because it does most of the same things, okay? You get really good battery life, you got a really good display, you got stock software, which is really easy to use. Now, one of the main issues with iOS is you don't get too much customization, but for the most part, in your iOS device, things work and they work exactly how you would expect them to after you get used to it, okay? And once you get it down, it pretty much becomes second nature on your iOS device. So at least where iOS is concerned, for a main daily driver device, I would recommend the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. Primarily, I'm leaning more towards the 8 Plus because you get a little bit better battery life. But once again, across the lineup in iOS, the 8 or the 8 Plus is going to have really good cameras. It's going to have a really nice display on either. You get that Touch ID, you get the software and the updates, you get the fast charging, you get the wireless charging, and you get the waterproofing with your iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. So that's what I would recommend in terms of main daily drivers, okay? Now, in terms of secondary devices or business devices, if we're talking about Android, I would recommend you go with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 or the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, okay? Primarily because Samsung devices are pretty much feature-packed with a bunch of different customizations that you can do with them. And in particular, with the Note lineup, you have the additional feature of that S Pen, which comes with a lot of additional features attached to it. So document authentication and signing, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. If you have a Note series device, then you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, the Note series is also known to have good battery life, depending on how you configure it. It also comes with fast charging, wireless charging, a big beautiful display, really good cameras, and for the most part, their software updates is getting better. But at least when you get in a Note, you're getting it because you know you're going to take advantage of the features that it has on board right now, not the features yet to come, not the features that may come in an update, okay? So at least where Android is concerned, for your business device or secondary device, I would recommend the Note 8 or the Note 9, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 or Note 9. Now, for iOS, and this might come as a little bit of a shocker, but I really like this device. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, but I plan to in the future. But for iOS, if you're looking for a secondary device or a business device, I would actually recommend you go with the iPhone SE. Primarily because it has really good battery life, you have a really good display, it's really one-hand friendly, you have really good cameras, and again, you're guaranteed those software updates. At least when you go with an Apple device, you know you're guaranteed software updates for at least 3 to 5 years. So you know you're good to go, alright? So in terms of primary devices, personal devices, secondary devices, and business devices, those are my recommendations for your personal and your business, and iOS and Android. Now, let's get into my recommendations for emergency devices, okay? And in particular, with emergency devices, you want to keep two things in mind, okay? Your emergency device is going to spend a large majority of its time in standby. So whether you keep it in your car, in the glove box, underneath your seat, wherever you keep it, in the bottom of your purse, in that emergency pocket of your backpack, wherever it's going to be, your emergency device needs to have really good battery life and really good overall standby and nice security measures as well, because you're going to have a lot of serious personal information on it, and you want to make sure it's backed up and authenticated with the necessary security permissions. Alright? So, my two devices that I would recommend for your emergency or emergency device, for Android, I would recommend you go with the Motorola Moto G7 Power. Okay? Primarily because you have a really big battery on there with some really good battery life, and the standby is awesome. And in terms of security measures, you got the fingerprint scanner, okay? You got the face unlock, you got your pattern, your PIN, and your password. So in terms of security and authentication, you're good to go. Other than that, because it's rocking stock Android, you can customize it to where you can easily access all of your important information and then have it good to go in case of an emergency. So really good stuff there. So if you're rocking Android and you need an emergency device, I can definitely recommend you you go with the Motorola Moto G7 Power. Now, if you're rocking iOS and you need an emergency device that's gonna last, well, I can definitely recommend you go with the iPhone XR, okay? Not the 11, not any of the newer devices, the iPhone XR. Again, primarily because it has some really killer battery life on it, and the standby time for iOS devices is second to none. And again, as I said, it's gonna spend a lot of time wherever you would keep your emergency device. So glove box, backpack, bottom of your purse, whatever, okay? So those are my 2 recommendations for your emergency devices. So let's recap real quick before we get out of here. In terms of personal or daily driver devices, at least where Android is concerned, you definitely want to rock that Google Pixel 3a or that Google Pixel 3a XL. In terms of iOS, you definitely want to rock the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 8 Plus. Alright? Cool. In terms of secondary devices, for Android, you want to definitely go with your Note 8 or your Note 9. Okay? For iOS, you want to go with your iPhone SE. And for your emergency devices, you want to go with the Motorola Moto G7 Power for Android, or you want to go with the iPhone XR for iOS. Okay, so that, guys and gals, pretty much wraps up this video here today, and those are my overall recommendations and considerations and reasons why you would need 3 devices. Okay, now I want to pose this question: what are 3 devices that you guys and gals would recommend and why? Let's get into that conversation down below in the comments, and as always, keep it respectful, y'all, please. That being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please help your boy out and give the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. If you would like to see more content like this, also feel free to hit the subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. That being said, this whole video here today was recorded using the front-facing 13 megapixel pop-up camera on the Bold N1 in 1080p 30 fps, and stabilizing this footage for you guys and gals here today, we are using the Zenyu Smooth Q gimbal and my AI extender pole and my Mini Manfrotto tripod. Okay, so please let me know what you think of the overall video quality, the audio quality, and the stabilization down below in the comments. Also, I am not using any external microphone here today, so please let me know what you think of all that stuff. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated. That being said, I hope everyone has a great day, and I will catch you guys and gals in my next video. Peace, everyone.